and welcome to the Glacially Musical Pouredcast. It is beer, metal, and swearing. Of course, I am Nik Cameron, the founder of Glacially Musical, and I am joined by my good friend, a man who always bears his soul, a man who's always there to tell you what's real, Keefy Candid. How we doing today, buddy?
Mute button is stuck already, off to a flying start.
Well, you know what? Welcome to the another episode of the Glacially Musical Pouredcast, Beer, Metal, Swearing, and Vinyl. If you are new to the series on the early records of Mastodon, that is last week. Thank you. Here are the departments of the show. Beer check, vinyl check, news check, shirt check, meat of the episode. This week we are looking back on the 200th episode special. How you doing, Keefy?
I'm fantastic. 200 episodes. It's kind of... Whenever I hit a milestone in any way in these things, it's a surprise in a good way.
I can remember when I was listening to a podcast I no longer listen to because the host turned out to be a complete and total utter piece of shit. And I won't mention the name, but it involves not geeks, but, you know, the other thing, not isms, but ists. And he got to 900. And I'm like, what the hell? How do you get to 900? That's not possible. But here we are, 200 episodes of this. This podcast, real quick before I get to my beer check, this podcast started off because a local St. Louis metal band big-timed me. Really, really big-timed me. I love St. Louis, and I thought I would do a cute little interview with this band about St. Louis. And my belief is that the artist makes an interview great, not the interviewer. Because I can say whatever I want, and it's up to you to answer and make it great and make it really cool and readable. Because I had one interview with an amazing artist who responded with one-word answers. Yes, sir. That was like his whole fucking interview. It was terrible. And this guy totally big-timed me and did not understand that what I was doing. He just didn't have the love of the city. So I decided, I'm going to start a ridiculous podcast. So I started off with me doing ridiculous interviews with artists and explaining to them going in, I'm going to mispronounce your name on purpose, which is part of why I mispronounce Keefy's name every week. And also the Frank Sinatra, Sinead O'Connor gag from SNL 1989, because that just still is so funny to me. And, you know... And then it just kind of morphed into this, and I'm going to talk about that later. But in the meantime, the Glacially Musical Beer of the Week is something that really, really appropriately describes me. Founder's Dirty Bastard. This is a 19.6 ounce Monofuna, and I will finger fudge this into my Molson pint glass. This is a Scotch ale. This is a Scotch ale heavy, which should not be in a 19-ounce glass. Oh, well.
Can you explain why? Because I don't even understand that.
Oh, a session beer, which is a beer you should drink many of. There are 3 levels of beer primarily. Imperials, bitter, and session. So that comes from the old English pub culture of somebody stopping at the pub on his way home from the office, from the counting house, if you work for Ebenezer Scrooge. If you were going to be there for a couple of hours, you drank session beers, which were 4%. If you were going to be there for 2 rounds, you drank a bitter, which is 6%. If you were going to be there for 1 drink, you drank an extra special bitter or imperial, which was 9 to 10%. So you would have 1, and you'd be feeling good for your walk home. An 8.5% ABV Scotch ale does not need to be this big, because that's a lot of beer. We are celebrating, so I'm in a good mood, and I'm having a celebratory giant beer.
And so the shorter glass is just inappropriate for the large amount of beer, or
No, the large amount of beer, the extraordinarily high ABV is inappropriate for the extraordinarily large beer.
Fair enough. This podcast listeners that listen every week know this is my thought process and why I'm so screwed. And Nik is screwed as well.
You know what? Live fast, die young, leave a beautiful corpse. Oh shit, I'm 48. Well, you know what? Live lethargic, I guess, and leave a middle-aged corpse.
My back hurts just thinking about it.
I've decided I'm middle-aged till I die, by the way.
That's good. That's a good way to be. I did not plan for this era of my life, and so now every day is a surprise.
Oh, no, I really thought I was going to be in the 27 Club. I thought I was going to be tragic, and everybody be like thinking about how great Nick was, and I'm still here. I'm still here. Loving life, still here.
I think a lot about Mickey Mantle in his last days of his life. And he was like, I didn't know I was going to make it this long, so I just went as hard as I could till I couldn't. And then I
speaking of
like
Mickey Mantle, we'll get to that in the
10
news
years.
check, because I want to drop some baseball news.
Oh, all right then. It's not a beer check, but it is Liquid Death O'Clock in my Gimme Metal koozie.
Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst.
Murder Your Thirst. This is a mango chainsaw, perhaps my favorite flavor. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. 200 episodes. That's a big fucking deal. Mm-hmm. And before I get to the normal departments, I want to thank Keefy, and I'm going to thank him profusely today, because this podcast really metamorphosized, and I'm really thrilled of what it is. I am thankful he is here every week, and I am thankful for all the finger fudgers who are here every week, hopefully drinking a beer while you listen, or not, or whatever. I don't care. Vinyl check. I'm just doing one this week, slowing down a little bit on my purchases. Actually doing a sale. I got about 50 records up for sale. Some very good stuff. Some Megadeth, some Iron Maiden. Lots of good stuff up there. Just stuff I don't listen to, and I'm not. I'm trying to kill completist Nick and get back to utilitarian Nick. So this week is the last of my Japanese package. This is Queen, A Day at the Races. This is a Japanese original pressing. Got it from Japan. Again, you may notice the obi. This is an original, not reproduced obi. This record, when it sold brand new in 1973, how much do you think it sold for?
Well, last week's check subverted my pricing expectations dramatically, so I'm going to say $50.
Whoa, holy, no, last week was a double.
All right, then $30.
$20.
That's a lot of money back then. Records were
So,
like $7-8.
No,
So
not
shows-
even. They were $5.
Yeah, shows
In
were like
19
$8 in the 70s.
Yeah, early, Kiss records in 1979 were $7, the brand new ones. Anything that was a year old was $6. This was $20 in Japan. And this is the thing about one of the things, and I don't think I've ever talked about this, and we need to do a vinyl chaser soon, but like a vinyl care and just all the good stuff about it. But one of the great things about Japanese pressings is if you get them from someone in Japan, not necessarily if you get them in America, but if you get them from somebody in Japan, they care for them much more than we do. I mean, look at this. This is a nearly 50-year-old record. And it's just
She's so pretty. She's so pretty.
Yeah, it is in completely immaculate condition. There is a Japanese belief that everything has a soul. Even physical, inanimate things have some sort of a soul. So because of that, they try to keep great care of everything. So if you go to a thrift shop, a secondhand shop, the quality of the merchandise they will have in that secondhand shop is going to be better than what you would get if you went to, like if you got video games, it would be better than the quality at a used video game store. They would still be in immaculate shape, looking like they just walked out of the box. So you do have to pay for shipping from Japan to get that, but you know what?
Right,
Sometimes
I was
it's
going to say,
worth
do
it.
these all go directly from Japan to you or through England or somewhere else?
It all depends. I have a Japanese pressing of Poison's Look What the Cat Dragged In that I got from England. I got that from a Duncan package, where if you have a friend in England or somewhere, it's really smart to bounce stuff to them and then bounce it to you. And it's got a big scratch on it. But none of the records I got from Japan directly have those scratches. I mean, they are in just immaculate, wonderful condition. And that is my vinyl check this week.
So, I too will be probably profusely thanking Nick. This is my favorite hour of the week, or hour plus now, as I say every week. Even my own stuff that I do, selfishly. This is, this is pretty great. I always have a great time. I think I found this is like what I'm supposed to be doing. The way you get to 200, it's like Robin Williams said at Live at the Met. How do you get to the Met, Dad? Practice. You practice. We have been putting this into practice every week. We rarely miss one, and when we do, we're not happy, but like we're really trying, and even though our following is small, we're mighty. And I got a lot of feedback this week, just random people messaging me, believe it or not, about the Mastodon series that we are interrupting for this. And how much they're enjoying it, and even though Nick is not enjoying it, they're enjoying that Nick is not enjoying it, and how much I'm enjoying it, even though Nick is not enjoying it. So,
actually, I discussed that with Lawyer Wife, right? And I was complaining about how Keefy's making me do this series of a band I don't like, and then Keefy won't do one record that he won't like. I know, I'm just teasing.
Only one.
I'm teasing.
Only one.
I'm teasing. Yeah, I want to do one record. I'm teasing. Anyway.
I used to refer to one of my brothers that passed away, he who shall not be named. I'm going to start referring to Metallica's Lulu as that record which shall not be named.
Fair enough. But I was talking to her about it, and I'm like, yeah, we're hit fishing. We're doing Lulu. We're doing Mastodon. Sorry. And she's like, but you hate Mastodon. Oh, my God, so much. She's like, so you're hit fishing, you're just going to shit on it? I'm like, Keefy says I'll like it. He's wrong, but I mean, still. So it's rage bait. And I have to say, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like we have broken a level in the algorithm, and we're getting more views, and I greatly appreciate that. And I interrupted Keefy's vinyl check, so I will stop.
I hadn't really given mine. I just wanted to pause and talk. But, rage bait does work. I don't really think of it as rage bait. I do think it's a valid, important band to talk about.
I agree.
I don't
Nick,
think when he doesn't appreciate them, understands that they are a major band right now. Especially
there's a difference between not liking and shitting.
Fair enough.
I just don't like.
So I have a 1.5 for today. And you're totally valid. And your thoughts on the series, actually, I've been listening back, and you've made a very good case in most cases why you don't really appreciate or like this stuff. So I'm not plussed at all. Vinyl check and a half. Here's a record I haven't checked here. This is a record that I got last year. This is some blackened shoegaze black metal from Canada. The band Unreqvited with a V instead of a U. I don't know if you're familiar. But they're really excellent.
Not, but I don't like changing V's for U's. Come on, we're not in Rome.
Well, this is their record Mosaic 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, it's not. It's Mosaic 2, Le Déteste et Le Distresse, which my French is horrible, and I really deeply apologize to all French people everywhere. Hate and Distress. Obviously a concept record, a sequel, and a concept record. Things that we haven't come up with yet on the pod, actually. Maybe King Diamond. But or Merciful Fate.
Do we do Abigail too?
I hope not. And then played and spinned last year, and then look at this gorgeous guy. I don't know what color you would call this, like fuchsia. This is a fuchsia.
I would call that translucent red.
Translucent red. It really doesn't seem that red here, but it's showing up on camera. It's very red. I think the room.
You also have like all kinds of red lights all over you.
The pink light is to contrast all the black. And then I'm going to tell a little story. I didn't tell this story before. I checked this before, but I didn't tell the story. So when I visited Nick gave me a vinyl. Nick has gifted me several vinyls and sold me several vinyls in our journey together as friends. And Nick gave me this. Aerosmith.
That's what I did with it?
Yeah, you gave it to me. And you were like, this is a piece of crap. Welcome. Do you want this? I was like, I love this piece of crap so much.
That is not what I said. I got rid of that one because I replaced it. It was a DJ copy.
Yeah, this is a as you can see, the promo stamp there. This is a promotional copy, not unauthorized. Transfer is prohibited and void, subject of return and demand by owner. Acceptance of this record constitutes an agreement to something. What a very verbose disclaimer.
CBS, I believe. I think that's the CBS stamp.
So I want to tell a really quick Keefy life story about this record, and then I'll shut up. Why is Permanent Vacation? First of all, Permanent Vacation is the second comeback record from Aerosmith, done with Mirrors. Bombed. It's a decent record, but it really didn't have any balls or swing.
Listened to that the other day, actually.
It's not a bad record, it's just not a great record. This is actually closer to a 70s Aerosmith record, but they also started hit fishing themselves because they really had never had a hit song. I know at this point it's like insane to say that Aerosmith had not had an actual hit song on the radio. At this point in 1987, they still had not. So they cleaned up, they did Done with Mirrors, then Walk This Way happened with Run DMC. of which they were not even wanted on the track, actually. They had a fight to get on the track. And Steven...
And they only got two of them.
And if you ever see the music video, Steven is... and Joe are destroyed, considering they're sober somehow. They don't look good. They don't look great.
No, it was pretty sober. I was pretty sober.
I'm not 100% sure, but this record, it's above. It's above. It's at least a B. It's above average. But why do I love this record? This record came out in '87, and it had hit songs on MTV because of Walk This Way. Probably it was given a bigger chance than it would have, and they did go a little more commercial. Although they were still themselves very horny on Maine. And so we were doing, in social studies at LaGuardia High School for Keefy, we were doing projects, and I chose, we had to pick a topic and do a project on it, like a presentation. And I love to do presentations even back then, even though I do get some performance anxiety. Do with that what you may, whatever the situation, closed or not clothed. And so I picked the First Amendment. I picked the First Amendment and censorship. And this record, despite it being by the most popular American rock band possible, was controversial at the time because, they had a music video that was originally censored, and then it got to be such a big hit song, they had to let it play on regular MTV hours, which was Ragdoll, which wasn't super misogynist, but the video does kind of feature a French Quarter, red light district, women of the night in windows selling their wares.
It's a little... The song is not squiffy terribly. The song is like horny 22-year-old stuff. However,
in 1987, when we were still very prudish.
However, this is also when they're pushing 50.
Yeah. Late 40s. Yeah, you're not wrong. So I do the presentation on this. I bring in, if you remember your high school, I bring in the big AV TV and VCR setup. I wheel it in. I borrow it from the AV club, which I also was a member of. Surprise, no surprise. How did I get through life being in the performing arts high school and the AV club and the theater group? And anyway, so I wheel in this thing and I'm playing the video for Ragdoll and showing the class, some of whom knew it and some didn't. I didn't actually even have MTV at this time. I just knew about the story from reading in probably Rolling Stone or Musician magazine, Guitar for the Practicing Musician, whatever I read back then, pre-88. And the dean walks in to talk to my teacher about something. And the dean the lights are down, the video is playing, the dean just comes in, and he is a dead ringer for Phil Donahue, to the fact that we used to call him Donahue, and he hated it. His name was Joe Cooney, he just died, rest in peace. And he walked in, I promise it's coming to an end. He walks in, he just stops and he looks at the video. The video ends, he pops the lights on, because he's by the front door, and he goes, "Mr. Chackas, can I see you outside for a second?" He already knows my name, by the way, for other issues. I was a constant cutter in high school. He's like, "Can I see you, please, outside? What is going on here? You and the teacher, come here." He brings us outside. He's like, "What in the hell is going on?" She's like, "This is Keith's presentation on the First Amendment, and they're trying to censor this music video, and I'm about to give him an A. Is there a problem?" Dean Cooney. And
if there's a problem, I'll solve it.
It's...
While my DJ revolves it.
I wanted to bring out... Can I whip out my shark too? I have my shark too. And I had him... I forgot to bring him out for last week for the shark theme Mastodon records.
I was just wanted to bring out the shark, and then I'm hiding, so if you're not watching this on video, you're not seeing the shark talking instead of Nick. I'm in a good mood.
You seem to be. We should just do a whole episode of sharks. The shark faces.
Maybe
that's the new podcast. We do the, "Hey, here's my vinyl check," and then the shark is like, "La, la." Off the rails. I'm sober, by the way. Unreal.
Hey, what? Shut up.
No, I'm talking about me. I should be not sober, but I'm sober. That's the vinyl check. News check time, Nick. Go for it.
Alrighty, news check. The big one that I'm going to get into right now is, of course, that I was at a concert last night. That's what everybody cares about. I saw the Breaking Benjamin Stained show. The opening act was Lakeview, who was butt rock. Everybody know what butt rock is? They were countrified butt rock. Yeah. So the best part is I only saw half of the show, which is way more than I needed. And the singer's like, we're gonna throw this out to the people that don't get thanked all the time. Where are my nurses at? Okay. Where are my veterans at? Okay. Where are my cops at? Okay. Where are my construction workers at? And I'm like, bro, you have just named everybody that gets thanked. I mean, I don't know if you've seen a bumper sticker lately, but you just named like all the bumper stickers. He's like, where are my patriots at? And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? So yeah, they were terrible. Then comes out Daughtry. And Lawyer Wife is a big fan of Daughtry as much as Lawyer Wife can be a big fan of anything. She's not like us. She to me, she likes music, doesn't love it, but the way we love music is really weird. So it's probably an unfair statement. And the thing about Daughtry is I find Daughtry to be very bland. You know, nothing really against him. His songs are just not, they don't grab me. That's just all I can say about it. They just don't grab me. And I would put him just a hair above Butt Rock. It's slightly more interesting than Butt Rock. Great, fine, whatever. Now, Stained is there, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but Aaron Lewis of Stained is very Trumpy. And the thing about Trumpy things is the Trumpy people really draw other Trumpy people. So lots of cool t-shirts that didn't make me feel uncomfortable at all. Should mention I saw this on the night of the Democratic vice presidential debate, which I did not watch, obviously, for obvious reasons, but I'll catch up. I did see the one about the January 6th question, which is all I need to see. But yeah, so that was that. That was that. We left after like 3 seconds of Stained because they're fucking horrible, and we just couldn't get through them to get to Breaking Benjamin. No disrespect to Breaking Benjamin, a band for whom I have no strong feelings of any sort. Anything you wanted to add to that, Keefy, or you just want me to keep rolling?
So in terms of Stain, did you leave because of the music, or did you leave because Aaron Lewis said something obnoxious?
No, the music, actually. He did not have a chance to say anything obnoxious. I had to go make a tinkle. So one of the great things about that night last night was they were selling Busch Light for $5. So, you know, we got at the end, we're at the end of the concert season, man, and our concert budget for beer is low at this point because, you know, they're expensive. So I went and got a Busch Light or a Bud Light for us to share. It's a 25 ouncer. She's like, I'm only gonna want half a beer. Okay, so that's 6 ounces out of the 50 I'm gonna get. Well, you know, maybe you know more. And it ended up becoming she's gonna have like a beer and a half. Of the 50, so I had, and the guy's like, you want a Busch Light? It's only $5. I'm like, so this 25 ounce Busch Light is $5? He's like, no, 12 ounce. Okay, I'll get that later. So I went back next time and I got one. But the best part about that was I'm like down there, and I'm like waiting. I'm having a, you know, waiting. Dude looks at me. I don't know this dude from Adam, handsome gentleman. He goes, you want a shot? And I'm Midwestern, right? And Midwesterners are very demure. So it's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And then he's like, are you sure? Well, that is the Midwestern code for I'm buying you something. Just take it. Just say yes to this. I'm like, you know what? Sure. What the fuck? And he got me a nice shot of Crown. So I walked back with a shot of Crown and a Budweiser and a Busch Light. Lawyer Wife looks at me and she goes, what the hell is that Busch Light for? Well, you said you were going to drink some of the Bud Light. So I'm like two-fisted in this nasty Hoosier beer. But you know what? Whatever, right? I have a good time. What else am I going to do? Stained is there. I got to do something to numb the pain. I mean, I couldn't get any Novocaine or oxycodone to make this palatable. So it had to be Busch Light. It had to be like a Hoosier Sweat. Just for the record, anybody listening to this, not from St. Louis, the term Hoosier is the worst slur we can call anyone. It means somebody who is less than our social status. So the worse a person looks when they call you a Hoosier, the worse it hurts, if that makes sense. Anyway, so yeah, as I'm coming back from the bathroom, I get a text from her. She's like, we don't need to stay. Originally, we were just going to stay and just, you know, kind of hang out and, you know, have a drink or two and just, you know, enjoy the cold night. But my dumb ass, I'm like sweaty and I'm hot. I'm not going to bring my shirt. I'm not going to bring my long sleeve shirt. I'm hot. And we get there, right? And as soon as we get there, the temperatures drop 10 degrees. And then we're in the shade. And then the wind starts blowing. So once again, I am foiled by the wind. I should have just taken the damn jacket. And I had one of my track jackets in the car. I mean, I could have been smart, but I wasn't. So yeah, so no, Stained is just awful. I mean, it is the most bland, wannabe, sympathetic, emotional nu metal that's out there. And that's the kind of music that I think should be struck from the earth. It should be just stricken from the record. It is completely useless. But that's just Nick. I don't like things. There's things I don't like. And when I don't, I have strong feelings. Everybody knows that. I have very strong feelings about things. Now, let us get to the big news of the day. Keefy texted me this news last night, and I want to do it because I want to do it. The Pink Floyd catalog sale has happened. So let me explain this first, and then I'm going to say what I want to happen from this. And then I would like you to tell me your reaction and if there's anything from this that you would like to see happen. Actually, I'm going to let you guess to see if you can figure out what I want, but we'll get there. So Pink Floyd has sold their catalog, their publishing, the whole business like Kiss, Bruce Springsteen, Queen, and everybody has done. The Pink Floyd catalog sold for the princely sum of $400 million. Now, this sounds like a crazy number until you start looking at things, right? Talking to my friend Mike, my DJ friend Mike, about Pink Floyd today. Pink Floyd has 2 albums on the top 10 selling albums of all time. What are they, Keefy?
Dark Side of the Moon, obviously, which I
Correct.
think is number 3 or 4 ever.
Number 3.
And
No, number 4. Number 4.
And The Wall.
And The Wall, that is correct. I was actually shocked. I didn't think The Wall had sold that much.
Sure.
It is my personal favorite, but that's just me. For the record, my daughter...
Roger, no one else.
What? I know. Me and Roger.
No one else.
For the record, my daughter agrees with you that Wish You Were Here is their best one. And now's where I'm going to mention that my daughter is cool, has great music taste and fashion. But she stole a lot of my fit, so, I mean, of course she does. And she listens to vinyl. So, anywho. Now, Bruce Springsteen, who has 1 album on that list, sold for $1 billion. Now,
Nebraska,
Roger...
right?
I'm sorry?
Born in the USA, of course.
Yeah,
right?
Born in the USA.
God, the least.
Which actually, I want to do an episode. I want to do a chaser on the top 10 to see how many albums out of the top 10 we both have.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, so Springsteen
None
has
of them
1.
is Kiss somehow.
Somehow, Kiss didn't sell that many records. I mean, they sold a lot of
They
records.
say they do, though. They say they did.
No, they don't. They have nothing close.
Gene is like, we are one of the biggest selling bands of all time. No.
Okay, do you know what Dark Side of the Moon sold?
It's very high.
Do you know?
I used to.
I know now. I thought it was lower than what it actually... It was 45 million copies. Okay.
His whole catalog is sold about 160.
No, it has not.
Yeah, that's what Gene said.
That's what Gene says. It sold 160. It did not.
The whole catalog versus 1 album.
Yeah, the whole catalog might have gotten to 100 if we're being super mega generous, which includes them re-releasing things 50 times. Whereas 1 album, if you put The Wall, Dark Side of the... You don't even got to go through the Pink Floyd 4 album run. Just take 3 of them. And they sold more than Kiss's entire catalog. So 400 million, I mean, that's just crazy. However, the fact that David Gilmour was talking about this 6 weeks ago in an interview that ran, 2 weeks ago, it's a print interview, he just wanted to be done. What does that mean? That means he can tell Roger, fuck off, and the horse you rode in on, we never will speak again. And I think Roger and Nick probably were willing to take a lower number to just be done. So I would presume each member of the band will get 100 million, including Rick's estate. And they will never have to speak again. Give me your quick thought, and then tell me what you think I hope will come of this. There's one specific thing.
Most of my thought you already covered. I was a little surprised to hear that David doesn't even talk to Nick, actually. Not because of any particular beef like Roger, but he just like, I also don't talk to Nick. And just as a matter of, we don't speak.
I think David is just done being.
I'm just done being David of Pink Floyd. I'm just done.
Right. I think he's ready to just be David.
Had
Which,
they
I can totally
wanted
understand.
I think had they wanted to shop around, had they wanted to negotiate, had they wanted to haggle, that number should have been much higher.
That number should have been like
double.
1.5 bill.
Like, I cannot believe that the greatest band of all time, okay, my favorite band of all time, arguably the
Greatest band of all time. That's fair.
Other people would argue against, but you and I.
They're wrong. It's fine. They can be
when
wrong.
Metallica eventually does this in another 15, 20 years, or less, every 10 years,
It's going to be 2 bill.
It's
2
going
bill.
to be like at least a 1B.
Springsteen got a B.
I don't know if you ever... Yeah, well, Springsteen. Yeah.
The thing about the Pink Floyd one, though, I'm sorry.
Go.
If you listen to KC95 tomorrow, if everybody listening to this in the world streams KC95 tomorrow, you will hear Wish You Were Here, Breathe, Speak to Me, Another Brick in the Wall, Happiest Days of Their Lives, and Comfortably Numb. You will hear it tomorrow.
I mean, like, arguably, right now, somewhere in the world, a Pink Floyd song is playing. Similar to Beatles, Nirvana, Pink Floyd.
Bruce Springsteen doesn't have that. I'm not saying he has no songs in the canon.
Yeah.
I'm saying to have 10 songs in the canon?
Yeah, Born to Run showed up at Karaoke Monday. I was a little surprised. Not a normal karaoke jam for people. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're just ubiquitous. They're everywhere. They could have got more money. I think all parties wanted to be over. Rick's family probably was holding out for more money, but whatever. $100 million or $150 million is nothing to sneeze at. Nothing to sneeze at. David has enough money. David has everything he needs in life. He has enough money. He's creatively fulfilled. He's gonna have a second album out probably in another year and a half.
Believe it when I see it. I hope it's true. Hope it's true.
Mostly, he said it's already being written with the same band.
Written is not recorded.
I understand, but he also, let's say I think, will do a handful of shows a year until he doesn't want to anymore. Probably a couple more times. I don't see him touring ever again like a major act. Well, multiple months on the road. He doesn't need to. He doesn't want to. Like Fripp. Fripp doesn't need to. Doesn't want to.
No, David wants to. David wants to give as much effort as he wants to give. Yeah. I did find out he played his new record with a copy of the Black Strat. So he uses the Fender David Gilmour Stratocaster, which he said if you blindfolded him and handed him one of those and the Black Strat, he wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I don't know if that's true, but he doesn't have any reason to say it. I mean, the man's got a, just to point out, not only are they getting $400 million for this catalog, but they've also gotten all the money they had gotten for the catalog. So they're just cashing out future earnings. I mean,
yeah, that's fine.
It's still a good number.
I mean, I don't know, like all these, by the way, like they're not, it's the same thing like we talked about with Kiss. They're not fully divested of all their ownership. They're just giving away a major stake in it to controlling interest of directing what happens next.
Yeah, basically now...
Like David never has to do an Animals 2018 again with Roger.
Right.
Like, for any reason. They don't have to.
No, now at this point, I mean, what they have given up, have they given up all of it? No. But yes. If you give up 51%, you can't have a band veto.
Yeah.
So, which is great. Now, what do you think I am hoping this comes to?
I'm going to answer your question, and then I'm going to make one more Pink Floyd point, and then I'm going to be done. What do I think Nick wants? Nick wants more wall. Nick wants the wall every which way but loose. He wants the wall... Like
you're knocking at the door, but there's a specific.
Like
you're not specific.
Like the Beatles did. Well, I think what Nick wants is like the restored, complete movie soundtrack on vinyl, orchestral, remastered.
Nope.
Get in Steven Wilson or James Guthrie to redo the whole thing, and when the Tigers broke free and everything that's in the movie that's not on the album.
No.
I'm guessing. No. Okay.
No.
I'll tell you what I want after. Go ahead.
What I want, there's one Pink Floyd release. One that has not had a vinyl release. Do you know what that is?
I don't. Go ahead.
Is there anybody out there? The Wall Live.
Sure, I don't need that, but okay, you want it.
So yes, it is the wall. I want the they
Yeah.
when they released it, Roger vetoed it to begin with because Roger's a dick, and his daughters are like, "What the hell is wrong with you? Your fans want this. Don't punish them because you hate David." Oh, all right, okay, if that's what you think I should do, Peggy. I don't know his kids' names, so they release it, but they only release it one time. There's no vinyl pressing of it. They have never pressed on vinyl. And how are they going to get Rod? And Roger owns the wall. Roger has owned the wall. I don't know about now. So that was part of the divorce. Is he gets the wall, and they get to snack on not having the wall, which they got Dark Side of the Moon. So who wins? But I want that album released on vinyl. It doesn't need to be restored or anything. Just press that sumbitch on vinyl. It was recorded on tape, but it also could have been lost in the fire for all I know.
Right. We don't know about that also. So I don't need anything to come from this. I don't need Pink Floyd in more movies. I feel like constant reissues and re-releases is abusive to the fan base and buyers. I don't want another... yes, we're going to hit a milestone. There will be a 75th anniversary of Dark Side. There will be we won't be alive for it, or I won't. But I don't necessarily need more. But I'm sure there will be. They'll find creative ways. They'll find ways to do things I don't need. I have most of what I want from the catalog. And... good that if it makes some more money for the guys, now. And, that's cool. But, they're really not going to become a bigger band somehow because of this deal.
Correct.
And, Nick has another news item. Is it a Pink Floyd item, or do I have a news item? I might as well just loop in I'll just ask you on the piggyback.
No, it's not Pink Floyd, but it's related to re-releases and expanded releases.
Okay, then you hold that thought for 1 second.
We'll hold.
Did we discuss the Comfortably Numb cover by Body Count featuring David Gilmour?
We did not. I was not a giant fan.
Talk about it. Yeah, it's not great.
It's
a cover.
I saw on Pink Floyd Reddits people really liking it. However, I am not. I love Body Count. Everybody knows that, right? We did a Body Count series. Which was my suggestion. The thing about Body Count is the definition of 30-30-30, and their covers. Or flip a coin, man. Their covers are either like Raining Blood or 99 Problems. They're either really good.
I didn't hate 99 Problems, but
I didn't hate it, but
at all.
The thing about Body Counts. or Institutionalized. The cover is amazing.
Yeah, actually, his covers of his rap songs with his metal band are Colors and 6 in the Morning are phenomenal.
What album's Colors on? I know I've heard that.
The one from right before the pandemic, Carnivore.
Carnivore?
New one's about to come out. You're like, okay, first of all, how much money does Ice-T have that he was able to afford David Gilmour, who basically just solos through the whole song?
Yeah, David Gilmour does what Ice-T does. He riffs on what the solo, whereas Body Count riffs on the song. That's what they do on every cover. They riff on it.
They riff on it. They don't really pay tribute to it. It's not terrible. It was very interesting-ish, but did not have it on my bingo card bucket list or anything this year.
I'll be honest, I did not get through it. I got about halfway and went, okay, this is a... I got about halfway and went, okay, this is a thing. They did a thing.
I like Tracy's words. I like his words. They're very telling and current, and I understand he's trying to express the same thing Comfortably Numb expresses. This ennui, this dismay in life. I didn't hear if Roger had a comment. I'm sure he hated it because he's not anybody taking his words.
I don't give two shits what Roger thinks.
It's officially the last thing they will take money on from, beside the money of the deal. That's the last thing they will take money on as the full owners of Pink Floyd. You're muted. No one can hear you. Say it again.
It's the last thing they're going to take money on, except for the money they're taking. Genius.
Yes. Brilliant. No notes. That's my thoughts. It's interesting. It's cool. It's cool that he got Dave Gilmour to be on it. And I can't quite tell. I don't think David is also singing. I think it's just guitar. But
I think it's just
interesting.
guitar, yeah.
It's interesting
Completely,
to say
I
this.
agree with everything you said. If I never hear it again,
I'm good.
I'm going to be okay.
Super good.
If I don't hear Raining Blood by Body Count again, I'll be missing something.
That's fair. By the way, this is just random. Speaking of covers, did Stained open up with a cover of Unchained by Van Halen?
No, they played it on tape.
Oh, fuck them then. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it was great because you know what? I saw
That's
the
the
best
best
part
song
of the
you
show.
heard. You
I
did.
saw the best part of the show. Oh, and
You heard no
Daughtry,
hits.
Daughtry covered Separate Ways.
That's fine. He's actually a very good. He's a better
He's
singer.
he's
than
very
material.
good. He's just
I think
it's
he
just
just has
bland
never had the best producer to like get the
or
best out of it.
songwriter. And
Maybe
the
he
thing
needs to work with like Miles Kennedy and have the two of them make a record.
yeah, he needs Miles Kennedy and Desmond Child, and then he'll be a hit. But I mean, yeah. Anyway, so my last bit of news correlates to my T-shirt for the week. Kiss has done the same thing they did that we discussed about 6 months ago. They are re-releasing the Destroyer expanded box set on vinyl. The colored edition is $942. The black vinyl edition is $600. And you know what? Fuck you. The worst part about this is the live concert that they're releasing with it is an audience recording, which is exactly what they released on the CD version of Destroyer. An audience recording.
Yeah, I don't understand. Is that a bootleg? What is that? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's a bootleg.
What's that mean?
That is a bootleg. Kiss did not record this. Someone in the audience recorded
they
it.
bought someone's bootleg of their.
I think they would own that. I think the legality would be that they own that because they own. It says on the ticket. They own it. So just stupid. I mean, just absolute money grubbing terribleness. And for my shirt check, I am rocking my Kiss Destroyer t-shirt. I think it's Destroyer. I don't know what the hell. It's all black and white, so I can't tell. Anyway, my Kiss t-shirt.
My salsa, salsa. Anyway,
Hey, I finally
Nick
cracked the
salsa.
code, and I made some amazing salsa this week.
I believe in you. Couple of interesting bits of news. Metallica concluded the 2025 M72 World Tour in Mexico City. I believe we're going to get a live album. What?
2024.
Did I say 5? 4.
You said 5. Johnny
I know,
5
said
is alive.
Sorry, Johnny 5 is alive. Terrible movie. Poor Fisher Stevens.
That movie is
Anyway,
amazing, except for the one thing, the Indian guy.
Except for they did a racism. Anyway,
They
you
did a
didn't
big
get to
racism.
see. Chances are, if you had stayed for the whole Stain show, Aaron Lewis would have did a racism because he loves to do a racism, and then you would have left anyway. But you got to hear no
I'm
hit
happy
songs,
leaving
which
when I
is a
did
shame.
because I heard
Yeah.
some Stained, and that was enough.
Yeah.
Too much, actually.
Probably. I rather liked them in the beginning, the first couple albums. Anyway,
I never liked them.
speaking of not good covers, they have a cover of "Bring the Noise."
Can we stop? Can we
Like
stop with
a
Stained?
new metal cover of "Bring the"? I can't really.
A
stop.
new metal cover of a rap metal song.
Yes.
That
yes.
is like
And it's
William
took out-
Shatner doing a spoken word version of Slim Shady.
They took out all the.
The good parts?
They took out all the good parts and left none of the. And Fred Durst produced the track because he was their original producer and discoverer, and it's not good.
You're killing me, Smalls. Move on.
Metallica finishes their 2024 World Tour. They have one show left so far this year. Maybe they'll add some more, but I doubt it. They have their Helping Hands semi-acoustic.
Would be
semi-electric
super
show.
surprised if they add any more.
Well,
They don't
but
want to
did
do a
the
bunch of shows anymore.
The last couple of years, they have been adding gigs, but now they don't have a new record to promote yet, so maybe not. They did book 2025. Those tickets are on sale now. They are getting snapped up. I already know a friend of mine, several friends of mine, just immediately bought the I Disappear ticket again. $2,000 any show in a world. My friend went to 7 shows. So here is a fun thing. The tickets are on sale for next year, and like I said, they are just wrapping up their Black Box on Cliff Burton tribute on their virtual museum online. Are we gonna get, Nick? Let's forecast a little bit because we've spent a lot of episodes on Metallica, chasers and features,
And will continue.
and we'll continue to do so. Not Lulu, but everything else is game. what is next for Metallica? What are they going to do next beside tour next year? And by the way, these last 2 weekends of set list, no new songs. So basically,
yeah, I checked some sets and it was
over the summer when we were like tracking every set list and they were putting in new stuff. Even when they did too many instrumentals that you didn't like, I still think that's an interesting set list if you had seen a bunch of shows. If that was your only show, probably disappointing. If that was your only show of the last 2 years, disappointing. But if that was one of many, probably cool.
I saw two. It's fine. I saw two.
I saw 3. None this year, unfortunately. So, and I think they're gonna get added to like a bunch of festivals now. Like if they're doing Sonic Temple, they're also doing others. So they're gonna that's just Danny Wimmer's playbook. What are we gonna get the Load and Reload box set? Are we gonna get something? Are we gonna get Binge and Purge? It's already a year late.
We are not gonna get Binge and Purge.
We're not getting it. Okay.
I don't think so.
They asked for stuff though. They sent fans. They did like.
If they were going to do Binge and Purge, why would they have released Seattle Injustice? It doesn't make sense.
That's true.
I would have liked I really wanted San Diego or Mexico City on vinyl. There is a bootleg of Mexico City that's rolling around, but it's like $200, and I'm not about to spend $200 on a bootleg. Sorry. I don't know what the quality is. I don't, whenever I buy, and I have bootlegs. I mean, you've seen them. I've got Roger bootlegs. I've got Metallica bootlegs. I have 2 Metallica ones, and they were both radio broadcast. I try to buy radio broadcast. If I'm buying them, I try to get a radio broadcast so that way I know it was recorded properly. But no, I am hoping to God we get a live record from 72 Seasons. There were multiple live vinyl releases on Metallica.com from the Hardwired tour. I personally purchased Live at Webster Hall. They had Live at Webster Hall and Live at Vans. The set lists were about, I think there's only a 2-song difference between the two, so not a big deal. Now, for 72 Seasons, I don't know. How do you do that? Oh, I didn't think about that because it's the 2 nights of...
I think you have to put out... Well, like I said, I think they recorded Mexico. I mean, they record every show for the soundboard. They record video of every show. So they have a ton... They can either do a greatest hits of the whole tour on 4 vinyls.
So do it Iron Maiden style.
Or maybe they got to the last weekend of the tour. And they had
maybe that's why the set list didn't change.
That's why the set list didn't change. So they recorded all 4 Mexico City shows, pretty much the same set list both weekends,
right.
with not the same set list, but very little changes. Nothing they didn't play already somewhere else on the tour.
No surprises.
Nothing new, except the doodles, which I don't need, as discussed. Don't want them. Don't need them.
Don't need those on the record.
Don't need them. Don't need them on a live record at all. I don't care.
Nope.
And then they put out like 72 Seasons live. Alive in the Ciudad de Mexico.
It wouldn't be the first time they did a Mexico City. And it's not Ciudad de Mexico, it's Mexico DF. It's like Washington, D.C. I hope that there will be a live album. Load and Reload have got to be coming. When did Black Album was 21, 22? Something like that. So it's about time for Load and Reload is going to be one. It's going to be one. It's not going to be 2. I would love to see a Load and Reload where Cunning Stunts is on vinyl, where we get 2 live shows on. I mean, I'll spend up to $500 on a Load Reload set if there's enough stuff in there. If you've got a Load and a Reload live show, I'd spend $500 on it. But it's got to have both. I wouldn't buy much else for the rest of the year, but I mean, I would buy that. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I want Load and Reload really bad. As a huge
I would also be fine if they did it in 2 sets.
No, I want one set. It's not worth. I want the whole thing at once. I want both things. Make it huge. Make it more money than the last ones.
All right. I mean, I believe the Black Album set was $250, give or take. The Metallica website price was $270, which is everything leading up to that had been about $200. So, Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Sorry, I'm clackety clacking.
Also, you did not shirt check.
We didn't shirt check yet, did you?
I shirt checked.
You technically shirt checked early as part of your news check, so we didn't officially shirt check. My shirt check is Joe Bob's at the drive-in. It's spooky season. Happy Halloween in advance in 29 days. I'm very excited. Or as you're listening to this, 27 days. But yeah.
Alrighty, let's get into the meat of the episode. Let's set this up. So, in 2020, I started doing Instagram Lives with Duncan Evans. In 2020, I went from being, an out and about kind of person all the time into being stuck in my home. And after a couple of months of doing one on Sundays with Duncan, Keefy and I started doing a show on Friday nights when he was still in New York. And we just talked about whatever. We didn't have anything significant. And that is where I think our partnership began. Just doing rando Instagram crap on our cell phones. And then he had to move to California, so we had to take a break. And I asked him, he said he'd get back to me at some point when he was settled. He never did. Keefy is many things. He is definitely a follow-through gentleman. So I started the Glacially Musical Pouredcast because I needed more to do in a time in my life when I couldn't go anywhere. My family is immunocompromised. I will say no more. So the COVID-19 pandemic hit us very hard. And we didn't actually start going out and about again for fun until probably 2022. And that includes after being vaccinated. So it took a long time for us to be able to be comfortable returning to our lives. So the podcasts, the Instagram Lives were a really big deal for Nick Cameron as a human being. It allowed me to talk. It allowed me to relate to people and just, have fun. So I'm doing guests because I like guests and I want more guests on this show and more guests on my other show, but I am only a part of both shows. So I asked Keefy, hey, come with me on my podcast. And the Glacially Musical Pouredcast, which at that time was spelled P-O-R-D-C-A-S-T. It wasn't until Justin Perot of Stormland added the U, which perfected the name. And at some point, Justin, I'm going to send you $5. But $5 American, sir. I'm going to send you a real $5 for that. Not $5 Canadian. Your Monopoly money's not real. I'm going to send you some real green money.
You are nothing if not an Anglophile, and like Anglos, you will give a backhanded compliment. Justin is sweetness and light and a treasure, and one of the people who was giving me good feedback on the Mastodon series.
You mean because he's Canadian? I know we were talking on Sunday. He is an absolutely delightful human being. I love him.
Don't insult his currency because you are...
It's not his currency. He doesn't own it. He might have a 5 spot. He might have a couple of loonies and toonies, but I mean, it's not like it's Justin's thing.
I guess.
It's Justin Trudeau's thing. Justin Trudeau could change it. Look at me. I can name other heads of state besides Americans. I am very worldly. So anyway, Keefy joins me, and we're going to discuss... My topic of discussion was iconic live metal records. And the problem was neither of us really thought that through. Because we start recording, we're on the Zoom call. This is even before I owned a microphone. I'm on my second microphone now that my friend Mike suggested I get, which I love this microphone. It makes me sound very Barry Whitish. It takes my nice, lovely Midwestern baritone down to a bass. Bass, how low can you go? Death row, what a brother know. Anyway, so once again, back is the rhyme animal, the uncannibal. Anyway, so we realized quickly there are no iconic metal live records. It begins with Live After Death and stops with Live After Death. And if you even take that farther, there aren't that many great live records. By great, I mean there aren't that many live records that really are in the canon of music. I mean, when is the last time you heard a live song on the radio? They're all studio. That's just what it is. That's just what we are accustomed to listening to in America.
I was
Maybe
gonna
it's different
say,
elsewhere.
show me the way, Peter Frampton.
Now you go away, Peter Frampton. I ain't got shit more to say to you.
Outside by Stained.
Okay, hey. Like 10 minutes ago, we put the kibosh on the Stained.
Sorry.
No more Stained today.
Stained series coming soon to the... No, we won't.
Okay,
podcast subject.
All right, I need to... just for the record, I'm now taking applications for the new co-host of the Glacially Musical Pouredcast. Anyway, so... while we're talking and having a beer and I'm getting drunk because I was drinking way too much during that time, I asked Keefy, I'm like, hey, you know what? You are welcome to come on my podcast whenever you now have my official meeting code. You can just jump in. I record at the same time. Jump in. It'll be funny. He didn't do it. He should have done it. It would have been hysterical. If he like popped in while I was doing an interview with somebody, that would have been like the greatest thing in the world. Now you're like getting tag teamed. Be an Eiffel Tower. It'd be an Eiffel Tower interview situation. We didn't do that. So, but somehow during that episode, probably because we had to divert from the fact that we didn't have any live albums to talk about, we started talking about Metallica. And I said, you know, it'd be awesome if a Metallica series where we spent an entire series on an entire decade. And boom, it was born. At that point in time, the Glacially Musical Pouredcast, as you know it today, was created. And so Keefy, being the lonely gentleman he was at that time, again, we are still talking about, you know, we're still getting the Velcro of the pandemic away. We did a series where we discussed every Metallica record from the 1990s. And that formed the basis of what becomes the Glacially Musical Pouredcast. Like any show, like any podcast, we are still growing and changing and evolving, but that is the bones of what this becomes. Now, later we add chasers, and all that kind of good stuff, but that's the beginning. Not only is it the beginning of the podcast as you know it, and as I know it, and as Keefy knows it, but that's the beginning of the podcast where Keefy is on every week. And seriously, 200 episodes. Keefy and I have done about 175 together. That's insane to me. That is completely ridiculous. And that Metallica series, to me, that Metallica series is exactly a great explanation of who Nick Cameron is as a human being. Because I love that era of Metallica. That is the era where a young Nicholas is buying all the records contemporarily, where I'm finally going to the record store on release day with my hard-earned money that I got, working at the Kiel Center, watching hockey games to get paid for it, and buying these Metallica albums the day of and feeling really cool about it. And these albums aren't widely loved. Talking to one of my coworkers today who saw Metallica on the Ride the Lightning tour in St. Louis. And I found out where he saw that. It was at a club called Reflections in South County that no longer exists and might have become a Hooters. No one completely remembers where it was. But he's like, I don't listen to Metallica anymore. I'm like, why? The riffs are still great. Lars is still playing. I mean, solos. When are they not doing? But I never fell out of love with Metallica. I mean, yeah, Saint Anger sucked ass. I mean, I don't think I'm talking out of turn when I say Saint Anger really could have been a great album, but it just came out awful, just awful. But it was a very Metallica way of bombing because they did an album that they wanted to do, the one they believed in. It was just terrible. Grew, changed. And that growth and change was a tumor. So, what are your memories on that series, my friend?
Oh yeah, we were learning on the fly, weren't we? We were figuring it out as we went along. And
I'm sorry. I do remember you saying, "Let's do the track by track," like Duncan and I. I'm like, wait a minute, we're doing what now?
Yeah, Nick would have rather not ever do the track by track of any record except Pink Floyd, The Wall, and he doesn't.
And I will do every version of The Wall I have track by track.
Oh my god, no! Please not. Please, I can't. Yeah, we laugh a lot on this series. Yeah, we figured our shit out on the fly, and it was magical. I think it was magical.
I would agree. And then we decided, let's do another one.
Let's keep doing them. And then we started brainstorming over Facebook Messenger as you do.
Still do.
Brainstormed like all these lists of we'll do these. We have already forgotten stuff we promised to do that we will never get to.
That we have said on the air.
Here, we'll do a series on Bit, and then we don't.
No, we did not.
Now it's a joke. That's why the future podcast series. That's where we get that from. Like that's
future podcast series. Limp Bizkit.
I would absolutely do Limp Bizkit.
I would absolutely no.
People are really mad that Limp Bizkit is going to open for Metallica. By the way.
Here's my
really
Limp Bizkit story. I bought $3 Bill Y'all contemporarily, and I kind of enjoyed it. And then I saw them live on Ozfest '97 and got rid of it the next day.
Unsurprising. You saw the Ozfest '98 with the giant toilet bowl.
I don't recall a giant toilet bowl, but I'm not saying there wasn't one.
They had a 30-foot toilet bowl that the
Who
band
did?
came out of. Limp Bizkit.
I have no recollection of that.
Yeah, they got some production money because.
In fairness, I mean, I wasn't like sitting up close, and it's
okay.
And at that band, they played during the day.
Yeah,
that was the year Marilyn Manson was on the tour, and he didn't play in
so-
St. Louis for some reason.
So no, I don't know if Limp Bizkit was just on a few dates. So Limp Bizkit
I thought I saw them in '97, but I could be wrong.
No.
It was a long
So
time ago.
Limp Bizkit is not officially out as a band until '97. That's correct. $3 Bill Y'all '97. Then
it probably was '98.
Ozfest '98, which is Ozzy, Tool, Megadeth.
Yeah, that's the one.
Limp Bizkit.
Motorhead headlined the second stage.
Yeah. I had another news thing to talk about, but I'll bring it up next week now. It has to do with Motorhead. It's not important. We figured it out as we went. We did Metallica. We did Maiden. We thought we were on a roll. We started.
And at that time, we were going like '90s, '80s, '70s.
We were trying to do decades, and we were trying to we made some finite rules for ourselves that didn't actually, in hindsight, make a lot of sense.
No sense at all.
We were trying to be very rigid about these things. Just do 1970 to 1980 and nothing else. All right, we'll do 1990 because Fear of the Dark. But
oh god, I wish it was no prayer. We didn't do Fear. That was '92.
We should have skipped.
Why?
We should have skipped to Fear of the Dark because
Fear of the Dark is better than No Prayer, but it's still No Prize Pig.
Well, I'm gonna bring this up in a minute. We're gonna figure out some of our choices were regrettable.
My next series that I'm gonna talk about specifically is a huge regrettable choice. We're gonna give the load. If you don't mind, I'm just gonna go into it.
Steer, just steer.
Alrighty. My next series I want to talk about, which I find to be a very memorable series, is the King Diamond Merciful Fate series. Now, the reason why I've chosen the two series specifically to talk about that I did is because I find that both of these series are very transformative for the podcast. The Metallica series, the first Metallica series, of course, not the Vinyl Club Metallica series, not the Metallica Volume 2 series, which should have been Volume 1, but you get my point. The King Diamond series really taught me as a human being the workload I can take on for this podcast and make it good. So that was when we were doing basically 2 to 3 albums in a show. And the problem was, is we chose a really terrible era. And really digging back on some of these things and really overturning the King Diamond and the King Diamond Merciful Fate 95 to 2002 or so was frankly awful. None of those records were good. And it was the first series where we tapped out. I don't remember specifically where we stopped, but we both just kind of looked at each other and thought, what are we doing? What, this is awful. We are torturing, like the Merciful Fate reunion tour. I'm not real excited about because it's the time lineup, which is the worst Merciful Fate lineup ever. And basically what that series taught me was, unless we are going into a series on a band, on a discography that I know like the back of my hand already, which is limited to very few bands, like 2 or 3, we can't do more than 1 album in a show. So yeah, that I feel like the King Diamond Merciful Fate series was very transformative because it leaned up the show and improved the show, where we could do our departments, give the departments the air they deserve. I like the vinyl check. I like the news check. I'm okay with the shirt check. I like the shirt check. I'm just teasing. But we are able to give these things the air they deserve before we move on into the meat of the episode. Spend 15 minutes talking about the background. Spend 15 minutes talking about the songs. Or more. And then we get anywhere between, 55 to an hour and a half typically. Which I think is a very good thing, because we're not just talking about one album. We're giving you more information. So, the first Metallica series creates a template, and the King Diamond series perfects the template. Those are my 2 favorites for those reasons.
That is goddamn amazing. I have some questions.
I would rather it be goddamn electric.
Goddamn electric. I'm gonna surprise you with my picks, because I think you will not have predicted my picks.
We'll tell you afterwards that I did predict them. But do not ask me to predict them before you say them. Fair?
Sure. I really loved the DRI series. Not a popular band, but a band that's important and foundational to me.
Very important. Same.
We were like dying laughing, like, okay, we can't possibly talk about 48 songs on this like EP. It was redonkulous in the best way. We literally were poking fun at ourselves. And then there's like an EP in there where there's like really new. There's an EP
with like 20 songs.
It's just goofy. Like, why do we choose this and do this to ourselves? But it was, it was comical. It was comical. It was fucking comical. And I really love Fireball Ministry, because they're also an underrated band, not hit fishing. And then we got completely owned by Emily Burton of Fireball Ministry,
which is the greatest. That is the greatest moment.
Arguably the single greatest episode of the entire show has been Emily Burton comes on and absolutely owns the 2 of us on our misrepresentation of events and history of the band. Thank you, Wikipedia, for nothing. Piece of crap.
Thank you, Emily Burton, for coming on, because you know what? And she took that whole thing in the best way. She was never angry with us. She was never irritated. She found the whole thing funny. And basically she said, look, the information you guys found wasn't right. Let's set the record straight. Let's have fun. Here's what I'm doing. Come check it out. Thank you, Emily.
She appreciated that we were talking about the band and our love for the band. And the things we did get right, she praised. And then I saw her in person a little while later, and she remembered me and obviously us, and was like, thank you for having me on. And I was like, I'm so sorry, we were chumps. She's like, not at all, you guys were great, totally professional, you didn't react, you reacted perfectly as you should, no worries. So I love that band. Those are 2 underrated bands that I'm very, very passionate about. Same. Neither in my top 20 ever, but like maybe in my top 50 bands ever, for sure, maybe even 30.
DRI's 4 of a Kind is a transformative record for me. Because for me, and I think for everybody that gets into metal, we have like a prehistoric era, right? Talking to my buddy Jim again at work today about, metal, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Gen Xers are pissed off because, I grew up having, when I was a baby, I was just too young to have purchased records, but I owned some when I was very young. My first record was a Grease single, which ruined me, I think, forever. I don't remember what single it was, but it did get broken. Don't worry, I have the full length, both the Broadway and the movie soundtrack now, so I'm fine. I have that song. And I moved to cassettes. So, us Gen Xers, we had cassettes and we had to turn our cassettes in for CDs and we got rid of our CDs for digital. And then a lot of us went, fuck this, and we went back to vinyl. So, and I'm sticking with it. I am not getting off the vinyl train because I am now that so far deep. And I don't remember where I was going with this. Damn it. I got myself Amtrak. I'm shutting up.
So, I'm going to give some honorable mentions and then ask you for some, and then I'm going to ask you some questions unless you want to keep steering.
No, you take over for a minute.
So, honorable mentions of favorite series. I really loved the series. First of all, we haven't done Pink Floyd as a series at all, which is insane. But we did a series.
We did Animals.
Chasers.
No, we did a series on Animals.
It's not quite the same as a series on, in the traditional sense of this podcast.
It's still a series.
That's not unfair, but it's not. I love that we did Thin Lizzy, because it's another band that I really love, and I think Nick became a bigger fan because of the series, which made me love that series a lot.
I think I have 4 or 5 Thin Lizzy records now, and I had one before at the beginning of that.
And despite how much we clowned on these records, I did really love the Robert Plant series because it's just so fucking bafflingly uneven. Some of them are so bad and some of them are so great, and even defining of a decade, like that 80s decade, like his.
It's every other.
It really is. Good one, bad one. Good block.
Yeah,
bad
it's Star Trek. It's totally Star Trek. Honey Drippers was terrible. Pictures at 11, amazing. And then the next one, which I forget the name of,
Manic Nirvana is incredible.
That's the end. That's 1990.
Oh no, Now and Zen is incredible. Manic Nirvana is good, but not terrible. But there's no actual 2 good ones.
I have Manic Nirvana on vinyl now. I found it in the wild. Which that's a 1990 record, and 1990 records are hard to find, especially in the wild.
Do you have some honorable mention series?
Honorable mentions. My first big one is Gwar, and I love Gwar, and I have for a long time. But what that series showed me was how little I knew about them. I always took them as they want to be taken. It's grindhouse. It's grindy grindhouse. It's like, you take Grindhouse, about a third as seriously as a regular movie? This is you taking Grindhouse as third as seriously as you would take Grindhouse. That's Gwar. And that's fine. That's great. They are who they are. They're funny, they're irreverent, they're ridiculous, and they're completely awful. When I started getting into a lot of the lyrics, it's like, I'm sorry, they're saying what? They're talking about what? I mean, on records I've owned for years, I just never really paid attention. So that really gave me an eye opener, it's completely fun. I mean, and again, I still see Gwar the same way. I am thrilled Lawyer Wife did not follow through with her saying she was going to come to the show with me, because it only would have been the first puppet for her to say we're divorced, because it gets really, really wrong, really, really fast, and she is not going to take that kind of thing in the way it's intended.
She made it through a show.
No, she did not. She did not go.
Okay, she would not have. Yeah, she would disown you. And
she offered, because I'm like, one of the things about Nick, this is personal, this is real. I will agree and offer to do everything. Okay, I am a people pleaser. And this even goes back to me playing hockey. The last time I played hockey, it's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be there on Wednesday. I'll be there. Oh yeah, I'll be there. Tuesday rolls around. Oh, I don't want to go. Wednesday rolls around. Oh, I don't want to go. And then I get there and I have a great time, right? That's just me. And Tuesday rolls around and I'm cooking dinner. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to Gwar. I haven't been. That was the first show I had reviewed since the pandemic, even. And it's like I don't want to go. I hadn't been to a show by myself in that long. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go. I don't want. And my wife, and I love this woman, and she says to me, "I'll go with you. I'll buy a ticket." And I just looked at her. Oh, honey, if you go, we're gonna get divorced.
It's pretty great. She's wonderful. Like no bones about it. I would say that I realized that I was a bigger Gore fan than you doing the Gore series, which I didn't think was true at the start of it. But I realized at the end I'm actually a bigger fan than you. I think you love the idea of Gore more than Gore itself. And you definitely love Hello.
I love
Hello. Hello is one of your top 10 records, right? You said
I would say like top 20 at least. Yeah.
And I would throw it up there high for me too. Also.
But see, the thing about Hello's my favorite Gore record because it's their only real crossover thrash record.
They don't have another record that sounds actually anything like it.
No, nothing like it.
They changed radically ever since.
Well, when you change members every like 38 minutes.
But they could have kept the style. They didn't insist that the style. They let the style change every record, which is a tribute to them.
Which is totally cool. Totally get that.
Do you have another honorable mention really quick?
Another honorable mention. Trying to think what other...
I have the playlist pulled up on my other screen, so I'm cheating.
I will say that we should not have done Queen the way we did.
Yeah, as previously discussed, we made it. That was an error. That was a complete error.
Yeah. And the thing about that one was...
the entire history of that band.
We did not... We did like probably 75% of their records. We got to like 1984.
Why?
I know.
It's all my fault.
We both wanted to get to Flash Gordon. We should not have started. We should have looked at.
Else.
Nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for Flash Gordon, but you and me.
I just turned into William Shatner. You were talking about Shatner before. Spock, are you out of your mind?
Spock, are you out of your mind?
Your mind.
Why are we listening
punch.
to all these Queen records?
Yeah, it's horrible.
It was
Shatner
terrible.
Records would have been a better series, actually.
We should. Shatner series.
Wait. Shatner, Leonard Nimoy's records, and Christopher Lee as a miniseries.
Oh my God!
Or even a chaser and like.
Okay. No. It's going to be a 4-album series. We'll do one Shatner, one Nimoy, one Christopher Lee. We just got to find one more dude or lady.
All right, let me have a think. There's got to be one.
Okay, that's going to be after the next series, which we can announce whenever you're ready.
All right.
We don't have to announce it this week. We got 2 more on Mastodon. But I mean, what I love about this show is we every other series basically Keefy chooses, then I choose, and Keefy is nicer than me. He like gives me a list of bands. He's like, choose one of these. I don't do that. I tell Keefy, we're doing Iron Maiden. We're doing Metallica again. We are going to do the Beastie Boys. Actually, we should do a Beastie Boys series. We're still going to do that rap series we've talked about at least 38 times. Another one, Faith No More, is a good honorable mention for me. So everybody thinks that, like, legitimately I'm contrarian. And this comes up weekly. And I'm bringing it up this week because no one else did. There's no guest to do it. Keefy's not done it. So we brainstorm Faith No More. And I think Faith No More is the band that broke the decades. Because they don't have that many records. What do they have? 5? 6? It's not many. So we did We Care a Lot. We did The Real Thing. We did... what's the next one called?
Angel Dust.
Angel Dust, thank you. And then we did King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime, and I think we did the next one.
I made us do Album of the Year because King for a Day is like half and half. Like 50% not good.
It's all bad.
It's just too weird for even
the whole time. I'm telling Keefy, I'm like, look, I love these first 2. I don't like the rest. I don't like Angel Dust. I really don't. And I like the song
It's like their best record for sure.
It is not.
It really
Their best record is The Real Thing, followed by We Introduce Yourself. I did actually see a video of Courtney Love fronting them the other day.
You really don't. You got to go back and Introduce Yourself is such a not great album. It's got 3 or 4 really great songs and a lot of filler. They're not there yet when they made that record. And I love Chuck. I love Chuck mostly.
Do you see my face?
I see your face. Like you just had a stroke. Courtney Love video has been going around for a long time. It would have been a very interesting band if she had
No,
stayed
it would
the same.
not. It would have been absolutely fucking horrible. And I say that as somebody who got a birthday cake from my wife that said, "To the girl with the most cake."
That's amazing. Your wife rules. No notes.
While we were playing that song on vinyl.
That song and 2 other whole songs were covered at karaoke on Monday.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, Live Through This is not a bad record. But
this is a classic 10 of 10. Shut up.
Okay, fair enough. You know, we can do a Hole series. That'll make maybe my wife will actually listen to one of these.
Controversial take. Hole has more and better records than Nirvana. Discuss.
Nirvana has one good record.
No, they have 2, but like
they have one.
In Utero is a great record.
It is not. In Utero is a 30-30-30 at best.
No.
Is that it? Nirvana series coming. Although Nirvana Unplugged is an absolute classic.
If we were smart, we would do Nirvana next. We're not gonna, but we should because we should keep
Nirvana. Okay, the next one, then Nirvana.
1,000 subs. Nah, maybe we'll see.
So yeah.
I'm not
anyway.
against it, even though I've been on record as not being a super duper fan. Listen, like we haven't done my 2 favorite. We did my favorite band. Like Metallica is one of my favorite bands. Faith No More is one of my top 5 bands. Alice in Chains is out there. We didn't do it, and we held ourselves back from doing.
I don't think we can do Alice in Chains. Quinn's doing Alice in Chains, and we're never gonna get there. We can't do it.
I'm not. Our podcast has nothing to do with any other podcast.
All right, fair enough.
Do a band because I love Quinn, and I appreciate him being on. We're gonna talk about some more guests in a minute. So can we both agree? What's a worse having done the series on both of these bands? Worst catalog. Quiet Riot or Grand Funk?
Oh, fuck. I forgot we did Quiet Riot.
It's so bad.
We started with Quiet Riot back in Japan, right? I mean, we started at...
Because of you.
Quiet Riot has 1.5 good records, and we did like 6.
We really... I mean, it was torture. And we stopped. We were going to keep going. And
we were? Why?
You wanted to do
What is that? Were we just cutting that series? Like, just cutting ourselves?
We cut that series short.
No, I mean, we were like cutting. Like cutting.
Yeah. Physically.
What was the other one you said?
And Grand Funk, which turned out to be horrendous.
Grand Funk, man, another great band that has.
They got They have one greatest hits album amount of songs on 20 records.
No, it's not that bad. It's one greatest hits amount of records on 1 greatest hits amount of songs on 6 records.
Their first 4 or 5 records, most of which are unknown, and not the
good
hit ones.
No, we didn't do those.
Pretty good. We did some of them.
We did like 3 or 4 of the no names, and then we got into the hit ones, and the hit ones weren't that good.
We stopped after this got so bad. We stopped short because we're like.
Did we stop? Did we pull out on that one? Did we JD Vance the couch?
Dave Grohl should have done to that series. We pulled out, and
all right,
it's not good, man. It's not good. They have some, and then their big hit song was a single they ended up putting on a record later. But I don't even understand how they sold millions of records based on what we listened to.
I understand why I saw them at a casino,
but those
rather than Riverport.
Pay.
I know, but you know what? I see Styx in a 20,000 seater. I saw Grand Funk in a 500 seater.
Well, like I said, I saw Megadeth and Alice in Chains in casinos last year.
You did?
They were fucking terrific. They were phenomenal.
Nice.
I talked about them on the show.
I can't remember everything we say.
Not a hit. When we're done hit fishing and we go back and do a Royal Thunder series.
Oh, that'd be a good
Royal
series.
Thunder opened for Alice in Chains, and I saw them awaken a whole new fan base.
Oh, you motherfucker!
And they played literally none of my favorite songs. They played a whole new album and one old song.
All right, let's keep the rig rolling. We've been going for a minute.
Wait. So we agree that we agree that Quiet Riot was far and away the worst series?
No, Queen.
I think Quiet Riot is worse.
If we had pulled out on Queen, Quiet Riot would have been worse. But we didn't pull out on Queen. We took it to the bitter end.
What is so outside of the obvious Pink Floyd and Alice in Chains? What is your favorite band of your favorite bands that we haven't done one yet.
That we haven't done one
Not
on?
even a chaser. Not even a chaser.
The Doors.
I know you love them. That's fair. I'm not against it.
We haven't done one on James Legg or Black Diamond Heavies, but
We've not done
that
a lot
is
of blues or blues-ish
the
guys.
James Legg Black Diamond Heavies is so under the radar. So, I mean, it's kind of the antithesis of what we do here. You know, we do tend to do larger bands. That's just kind of the
Well,
the way this works.
we're hit fishing until this thing takes off more. But like we're gonna go back to doing on.
We're gonna
go back to our purpose in 2025 and pick underrated bands and maybe not
Correct,
do 10
correct.
albums by them, but do like 4. I think
Right.
4 is the right number. 3
4
is
is the
acceptable.
perfect number.
2 is probably too short. Not the
4
rapper,
is the
but I
right
do
number
like it.
because you get 2 in, you get a chase, you get 2 out, and that's the right number.
I feel like 4 is the sweet spot for us, but like we have definitely screwed the pooch by doing enormous runs for months at a time. killing
I would
ourselves.
also say the Motley Crue series was really enlightening. It's amazing how awful they are.
Well, it just cemented every feeling I've ever had that the band is.
And I have their first 5 records. I have.
I've shouted the
1
devil
through
and I
5.
have Dr. Feelgood. That's all I need.
Those are the best, unless you count
I
the one record they did without Vince Neil. That's my favorite.
That is a good one. I am considering doing Home
not
Sweet
Motley
Home in
Crue.
karaoke because I'm a better singer than Vince Neil, but I'm considering it.
Most people are. I've enjoyed some chasers, like us doing getting Mega Ran on.
I was going to say other favorite guests is the next question, but
Mega
just
Ran.
Really, yeah, Mega
Go ahead.
Ran. I love Richie Randall. I really love Richie Randall.
I was going to say Richie Randall.
I know you were, but I said it first.
I love Richie
local to
Randall.
you.
Richie Randall,
Richie is-
Justin Perot,
Yeah.
you know,
Quinn.
frequent guest Danny Nichols.
Danny Nichols, the best Hall of Fame. I will add that like a favorite band of mine because we haven't really done the genre much at all is that we haven't done is Sleep or High on Fire.
You know who else we haven't done? Obituary.
Well, that we've done only one death metal series, Cannibal Corpse. So Obituary would absolutely be the next one
No,
for
completely.
sure.
Or Deicide.
Suffo or Deicide. I just saw Deicide. I didn't talk about it. I will talk about it next week.
Fair
I
enough.
did see Deicide. They were very good.
Ooh, Carcass.
so
we could do Carcass. That'd be a good series
Carcass is on tour right now with Hatebreed. Randomly.
too. That's a weird tour.
And then,
But I should mention I saw them with Deaf Haven, whatever the hell they're called. I don't
Death
care.
Heaven, yeah.
Whatever. Fuck those guys. I don't like them. I'm sorry. I don't like them.
All right. I
Doesn't
won't
work
make
for
you
me.
do that.
No, I will not.
Will not. Yeah, I don't know. These have played out very interestingly, we'll say. And
We have never come out of a series knowing what we did going in. Even when we have done bands that you and I know so well, we come out going, man, Dynasty kind of sucked.
I mean, you didn't think so. I knew it in my soul from the time I was 5 years old, 6 years old.
It's got 2 good Ace songs and 2 good Paul songs.
We've done no.
Oh my!
Damn it, San Francisco. We've done not much death metal, no black metal,
No black
not
metal.
Much punk, not much punk. There's a
We
lot of punk I would do.
should do a Mayhem series. That would be a
Well,
good.
I was about
black
to.
metal
That
record.
was going to be like
Metal
if there
series.
was one black metal band you would pick. I would pick Dark Throne. You would pick Mayhem. I do love
Yeah.
Mayhem a lot. I would go back to Death Crush and go through the
Yeah,
first,
right. Yeah.
first few. We have done. Absolutely, this is really weird for 2 pretty feminist guys. We've done no women series at all. No women-centric series. That's why I want to do Royal Thunder. But like, we haven't ever talked about a women-led band at all, which is bizarre.
We could do Arch Enemy.
I would not be opposed to doing Arch Enemy. I love L7.
Oh, ooh.
I love Hole.
Another
I love
L7 will be
Bikini Kill.
another series my family might listen to.
Bikini Kill also would be great.
I have
Shudder.
never heard Bikini Kill.
You would. Well, again, Nirvana does not exist without Hole and Bikini Kill.
Well, there you go. I'm not.
Most of
I'm not
Nevermind
opposed,
is written
not
about
opposed.
Bikini Kill's guitar player who Kurt was dating before Courtney. And then all of In Utero
Speaking of
is
Kurt
basically
Cobain,
written
did you
about
see?
Courtney.
Did you see the
Yes.
photo of Tony Hawk holding Frances Bean, Cobain's daughter?
Ronan is the child's name.
I did not know that. But the picture of Tony Hawk holding his granddaughter, who's also...
Is that a Ronin is a samurai with no family or something?
Ronin is a samurai whose master
No
had
order?
died.
No master.
No
right.
master.
So like everybody's like, the sure sign of the apocalypse is the grandchild of Kurt Cobain and Tony Hawk has made the ultimate 90s scion.
Fair enough.
Apparently, Tony's children are great, and he's not a Dave Grohl, so he...
All right, let's, if you don't mind, I promised the wife we would watch Lord of the Rings tonight, so...
As you do, I will always get off the line for Lord of the Rings.
So
Too bad
let
I'm not
us
there to watch it
wrap
with you.
this up. If you could
Eating
give...
Emo's pizza tots and drinking a beer.
I'm talking, thank you. Taking back my time. If you could give the Glacially Musical Pouredcast a rating of 1 to 10, where would it be? For me, it's 11 and fuck you.
I have no words. I don't know what to say. Yeah, of course it's 11 something. These go to 11 because 11 is louder than 10. There's like a brawl.
Oh my god, I think it was Daughtry last night. I was like, that's good for 10, but what if we turn it up to 11? I'm like, fuck you, Chris Daughtry. You are not Nigel Tufnell. Your amps do not go to 11.
Did he win The Voice or America's
No,
Got
it was
Talent?
American Idol. He was like number 2 or
American
3.
Yeah,
and it's like,
I mean, he's made quite a career for it. Like,
look,
most of these people don't.
no shade. Absolutely no shade.
I've been trying to interview him, and maybe if I get him, I'll ask him some.
If you get him, I want to be there. I'm just going to look at him like this.
No,
look at me. Look at my eyes.
Yeah, publicists don't like it when you dog their people, and I don't do confrontational interviews.
I'm not
people
dog.
I'm interested in them.
I do not believe I have dogged Chris Daughtry. I just don't find him...
Yeah, stimulating.
Right, exactly. He's just not stimulating. He's fine. I enjoyed the show. I've seen him multiple times. I'd happy to go see him again. Am I going to buy his records? No. Would I go if Lawyer Wife didn't ask me? No. But did I hate it? No. It was the best part of the night. But the next part of the night was Stained. So hard to go up, hard to go down from there.
The best part of every Breaking Benjamin show is the encore where they do a bunch of covers, including Metallica. So and Tool. So whatever.
You know what's better than that? That time we saw Metallica do Metallica covers.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Needless to say, we're gonna do 200 more of these probably. I don't see us stopping anytime soon.
I see no ending. I mean,
we are gonna keep hit fishing. We're gonna bring it back.
We've really tried hard to piss each other off so much that we're gonna go away, but we just keep he's rubber, I'm glue. We just stick to each other.
I think we are fond of each other, despite some of the fights are fun. They're
Look,
not
if I don't
manufactured
insult you and if I don't piss you off, I don't like you.
I'm easily pissed off. Yeah, I'm looking at by the way, just like looking at these, like the playlists, like Gore 5 episodes, Def Leppard 3, Chili Peppers, unfortunately.
We did a Def Leppard series?
Like a mini series. We did the first. We did a few.
Oh, we did the good
two,
records.
We did two an episode also.
And we didn't do Hysteria.
I think.
That was pre-single. Okay, that was pre-one per.
7 episodes of Slayer, 9 episodes of Queen.
9.
Why?
That's gonna be the Pete Rose of our series. We're never gonna have another 9 episode series.
No, we're not even gonna have. I think it'd be hard pressed to find a band I want to do 5 albums on.
Correct. I think we've
maybe Alice in Chains.
I would do 5 episodes. I would do 10 on Queen, or not Queen. I would do Queen. I would do 10 on Pink Floyd.
We're gonna, yeah, of course. But I'm gonna, if we get to Pink Floyd, maybe hopefully we get to them, but I don't know when.
We will get to Pink Floyd at some point, but man, we have really got to narrow that shit down.
I don't know. It's gonna be difficult. All right. I think it's my turn to take
your turn.
Glacially Musical Pouredcast giveaway coming this week. Finally,
200
in celebration of the 200. We got 72 subs. Let's get it to at least 100 right now. 76? Let's get those last 24 so we can get 100. A hundo.
Look, I want to give 2 of you some records. I got a pile of records, some good stuff, like legitimately good stuff. It's not, nasty thrift shop crap. None of this is thrift shop crap.
Yeah, sure.
I got about 10 good records. You're going to get 2 people are going to get 5 each, okay? Subscribe, and I'm going to pick 2 of you. Grand prize winner, we'll get first choice. There's going to be the Metallica pack or the Pink Floyd pack. Not a joke. So, if you want those, you do you. Hit like, hit subscribe.
And with that, you have just listened to the 200th episode of the Glacially Musical Pouredcast. Holy hell. How do we even do it? We just told you. If you listen to this whole episode, you know. If you somehow
Never
tuned
thought
into
we'd
the
see
end,
the day.
if you tuned into the ending, you're a freak. Who does that? Who reads the last page of the book? And if you want the super mega weird ending, turn to page 168 in the Choose Your Own Adventure book. I am Keefy from GhostCultMag.com. GhostCultKeefy at GhostCultKeefy at GhostCultMag. I think someone's getting stabbed near my house. And Nick, as you know, is everywhere at Glacially_musical or at Nick_C on the social network that is suddenly, hopefully soon to be going out of business. A murder is taking place, as we say every week at this juncture of the show.
That's metal.
It's the Glacially Musical Pouredcast. It does not play in Peoria, but I'm going to eat a Baby Bell cheese that definitely has been sold and eaten in Peoria.
What the fuck?
I had no ending, so I had to just go somewhere with it. I didn't know. I'm
Laughing
hungry, so
cow or
cheese.
nothing? I'm just
Baby
kidding.
Bell
Aldi
in your
cheese.
eye. I'm gonna eat
Aldi
this
cheese.
right now. Bye.
Aldi cheese.